Hello everyone, my name is Vel and today I have a very exciting announcement. Not long ago Oden's Eye wrote to me in the Instagram and sent an email asking to add me into the PR list, and I said yes. There are a couple things that I have to mention in the duration of this video, especially at the end, so please stay until the end. But today I am happy to present to you a new collection, or more like extension of an existing collection. It's Elva. We have 4 palettes and 12 new products for lips, and all of that are belonging to the Älva collection that they have. Elva is like a little elf, as far as I understood. We have 4 palettes that are based on the seasons, basically. We have a spring one, we have winter, autumn and summer, and we also have 12 new products from the Elva 3 Fairy Wishes collection. We have 6 glosses and 6 matte velvet lipsticks. I will show you everything. I will do 2 looks with each palette so you can understand and see. I will combine the products in the specific manner to provide you with an option of combining them, and you will also see which lipsticks are combined into the looks. Very excited, it's going to be a really big video, and if you're interested, please keep on watching, and big thanks to Oden's Eye for this very interesting addition. Let's begin. So I am starting with the summer palette, Summer Elva, I think it's called. And I'm looking at the color story of this palette and I see 3 distinctive stories at the same time, and I wanted to do 3 makeup looks per palette, but I don't have enough time to do so. That's why I probably would have to go with the 2, and I wanted to either go with the color gradients, so color families. Basically I see here a bit of a brown gray with oranges, and I see here the sea, kind of the ocean theme with the blues and turquoise and all that stuff. We also have the duochrome, which is called Summertime. It's not seen in the palette, but it can be seen on the swatches. I'm attaching the swatches so that you can also see that, just so you know I'm not lying about that. And I think I will do the halo eye within the color theme, because otherwise it will be a bit more problematic to work through. And I need some base, something to rely on, basically. And my brain says that it has to be the color family in this scenario. So let's start. I'm preparing some brushes, and I will start this with the shade Humidity. It's the darkest one, and it's like a seafoam green, the darkest green. Humidity will go into the inner and outer corners, and we will probably go with the turquoise by the lower lid and more blue by the upper lid. That way I can a bit control it more. Then I'm taking the shade Journey. Journey is going to be the second one. Next, I'm applying one to the other. It doesn't matter that they don't match too nicely, that they don't blend too nicely, because we will cover everything with sparkle. So I just need like a colored base, something to place the shades on, and nothing else. So it's not going to be crazy. And the Journey is the second one, as I said. And the shade Picnic, I believe it is. Picnic is gonna be on the upper lid as a blue one. Then I think I will go with the Cloudless by the lower lid, and just slightly I'm like doing the dotting, basically. I'm slightly blending it together. So the Cloudless is nice teal color, turquoise, and then I'm thinking to add the shade Fresh to both. So Fresh is the lightest mint, and I'm adding it to the both of them. It's very whitened out shade, so it's not going to be seen that much. So, and this concludes our mattes for this look, kind of, and I'm starting to place the shimmers. I'm starting with the shade Summertime. Summertime is the darkest, and it's a duochrome. I also see colored sparkles in it, and it's duochroming from blue to green, which is nice because we will go into the blue anyway. So it goes both to the lower lid and to the upper lid in the place of the darkest shades. Then I'm going with the shade Seaside to the bottom lid. It will be my focal point. I think I will add the turquoise or blue outline, the basically the lash line, the waterline, and the lower lid to be colored. And then I'm going with the shade Heat onto the upper lid from both sides because it's halo, we need to attach it somewhere. And after that, into the very center of the top lid, I'm placing the shade Youth. It's a silvery shade. I think it doesn't really duochrome into anything, so but it's always nice and sparkly, which I really like, and I really enjoy that with the eyeshadow. These are all eyeshadow. You don't have to worry about blending or anything. They are pretty nice, pretty easy to work with. And on this stage, I think I will only need a liner into this look and some nice lenses. So that will be the idea, and I will come back to you when I finish the whole face. This is the makeup look I came up with, and I am seeing something really oceany, something like a sea, a lake, ocean more, I guess, and the sky. And like, this is summer, this is truly summer, and I'm really enjoying the color schema so far. The downside for me in this Elva, it's Elva, summer Elva. So the downside for me is that the colors that you see here are not actually structured in the specific way. So let me just remove this color cover. So you can see clearly that there is a specific schema or two specific schemas, but they are positioned very out of scope, kind of. They are just quite random for me. So you have a bit of blues here and you have a bit of blues here, and then you have like random center with browns and beige and all that colors, and this requires a bit of thinking. Sometimes I don't want to think about my makeup. I don't want to choose specific shades. I want to go by how they are supposed to be, like I need some logic in them. In this case, I don't see a logic, but I see colors, so I tried to combine the colors. Without actually swatching the shade, it's very hard to tell what is what, so I would recommend getting some palettes, swatching it, keeping that swatch as a photo on your phone or something for the reference. Then you can more clearly see what comes with what. That way it's a bit more logical. So you can also swatch them by families, then it's also a bit more logical. To not search for the shades later. So in this case, I had to search for specific shades that come together. It's not the biggest deal, but it's somewhat a downside for me, because you have to think more than I would prefer to when working with a palette. Maybe it's just my personal preference, I don't know, but that's how I see things. And other than that, the colors are really nice and the sparkling is crazy. So they are truly sparkles, they are duochroming, so there is at least one duochrome, and they have colored sparkles and they are sparkling like crazy on the eyes, especially in macro, so that it's very nice and usable, and they come together very nicely as well. So I used around 9 shades from the palette out of 16, and we have like 8 more, something like that, 7 or 8 more, and I am so far not mad about anything. It's working good, but Oden's Eye matte shades actually always kind of worked good. They're just like the combinations in the palette itself, as I said, are not the most logical, but if you combine them by yourself later, then it's totally fine and they work together and they stay normally. So right now I don't see any creasing, they don't want to run away from my eyes. I remind you that I have the Urban Decay on my eyes as a base. It's original primer potion and they seem to hold nicely. So they do match each other, so I would say they're kind of in couples. You have a lighter shade and you have a matte to it, you have a darker shade, you have a matte to it, which is great. Then I wanted to tell you about the lips as well, because they are also from the same collection. It's Elva 3 Fairy Wishes. They come in matte and gloss options. So we have the green ones being the matte liquid lipstick, and we have the pink one being the gloss. Here I have 2 of them. These are the shades Nude Nectar and Citrus Camellia. They look quite different on the stickers. They also have stickers on the bottom here of the both packages. These are my first Oden's Eye lipsticks, and the glosses are good. I like the glosses, how they glide, how they wear. I like the texture of the liquid lipstick, but I don't like how it applies. It feels as if the lipstick is somewhat dry. So you know the Kaleidos Lip Clay, and this is very similar texture. It's elongated applicator as well, which is not bad, but I don't find this to be applying really well. So it still applies, of course, but this is not the most comfortable application process. But the shade is really cool, and if you blend it, it's gonna be really, really nice. So I don't like the application, but I like the texture on lips and how comfort it is. So this is really velvety. It's really velvety, and it blends, and it's nice. And the gloss is also somewhat similar in shade, I would say. So I can think of them as a couple, and I think all of them, there are 12 shades total, 6 glosses and 6 liquid lipsticks, and I think they kind of come together, and I think there are multiple ways to combine them together. So if you want something more matte, of course it's a lipstick. If you want to add the gloss to it, then you can choose from the same collection something, and it will work. And as you can see, I'm enjoying both of them, and so far they are good. Like nothing out of hand that I want to tell about it, except this application thing, the applicator thing. So what else do I have on my face? House Labs in 3 zeros plus Tarte Shape Tape and 20B. That gives me my shade. Sephora contour stick is contour today. Jubilee by Danessa Myricks is my blush, because I like to combine greenish blue with peach something. So Jubilee is a very good one. I don't have a lot of Oden's Eye blushes. I think I have only one shiny, or maybe 2 blushes total. They are more on the pink side, and I'm not using them right now. My highlighter is the Pink Glow by Bobbi Brown. It's just very nice and smooth. So it's not a sparkling highlighter, it's just a smooth one. I wanted to keep the face more toned down while the eyes are so bright. And that's also why I chose these lipsticks to go with it. So that's the explanation, at least I give myself. I'm enjoying it. I think it looks good. It feels good. It's a good makeup day for me so far. I love the sparkliness of all of that, and I love the hues that they're in. So sometimes hues can be quite nasty, but these ones are kind of good. So that's the summer Elva, and we will go into the second part of this palette tomorrow together, and I will get some other shade maybe to it. Maybe, I don't know yet, to be honest. So I think that's so far it. I'm gonna think about the next makeup that we will do. But so far, so good. And I will see you tomorrow in a second. So guess what? It is 12 in the midnight, and I'm sitting here to start something. And we will start with a second look from Oden's Eye Summer Elva. So, usually I am starting with either dark to light or sometimes light to dark. This case is the light to dark. I'm not gonna do too much for this makeup look. So let's begin with the shade Vita. It's gonna be my crease shade mostly, and I'm setting it to the bottom and to the top. It will be like a blending shade pretty much. Then I'm going to the shade Ice Cream. It's brown ice cream. I'm not sure why it is called like that, but it's brown ice cream. And this will be the darkest shade on the outer third of the eye. I'm just placing it there, trying to keep it within that area. And once I'm more or less happy, I think I will go to the Fresh Air at the bottom lid. It's slightly gray. It's more like a grayish to me, or on me. It might be a bit more cool toned gray on somebody else, but that's what we are dealing with. And this will be my bottom lid shade, just a base. I'm just testing how the things are, and and I am so far okay with matte. I think it will not be anything super difficult in this makeup look, quite a simple one. So next, I'm gonna place the shade Festive onto the bottom lid, or it's called Festival. It's called Festival, sorry. Onto the bottom lid, and I'm just dragging it there. It's slightly greenish in tone, kind of an interesting shade by itself, can look very nice as a smoky eye addition, this kind of stuff. And after that, I'm taking the shade Tender, which is silver, and I'm placing silver to the beginning of the eye. And this is crazy metallic shade. It's also very weird texture, one of the textures that I don't actually like, because when you place it, you cannot stretch it enough. So I'm trying with a flat brush just to stretch it a bit at least, so I can have my lid not just blob of silver in there. It's a bit weird in the texture, truly. I'm not fully happy about this. It's confusing, I have to be honest. Okay, then we are going to the shade Voyage, and this is duochrome, I believe, with a lot of colored sparkles, and it has a texture of this wet sand. And you have to be careful applying it. It's just a bit more problematic to bring out all over, and that's also not my favorite texture, to be honest, but this is one of the 3, I believe, textures in this palette for the shimmers. So Voyage is the fiery red, orange to pink to yellow, and I am setting it to the main lid. Mostly it's going to be main shade, so I am not keeping it away. And then I'm going to take the shade Outside, which is slightly pink, and place it into the beginning of the eye. However, this texture is also not the best for me. It's giving me a crust. I don't like having a crust on the eyes, unfortunately. It's very pretty pink, like a rose gold almost, but it gives this crust, which I don't like. Maybe you won't see it as much when I'm here in the camera, but I see it in person and it annoys me. I need to be honest. It's just such a texture that doesn't stretch properly. And this was also the problem in Oden's eye last time I touched them. That was with the limited edition winter palettes, like a Christmas limited edition or something like that, because those were the last ones I touched. So I'm okay with that, I guess. I will have to do the double wing, because I want to do the double wing, being black on one side and beige something in that direction on the bottom lid. And I will come back to you when I finish my face. So this is the makeup in a finished variant. I am pretty happy with how it turned out, and from afar it looks gorgeous. I'm pretty happy with how it looks from afar. However, when I come closer to myself and I look in the mirror, I see the texture that I don't like. So with this main shade on the lid, it has a texture of a sand, like a wet sand, kinetic sand, something like that. If you do not apply it well enough, it's gonna have a bit of gaps that do not look really good. It's like something spritzed on your face, and it's just almost like freckles, but in the more condensed manner. So if you have like a lot of freckles, and they should be like clusters, stuff like that. So it's not looking too good up close. And the other 2 shades that are in the inner corner, so the bottom shade here, I don't have anything to say because it's a very small application area, but it has the same texture as the duochrome here. So most likely it will have the same problems as well. When you are looking closer, it's just little dots of pigment rather than like a canvas. The other ones on the opposite side, it's more like a crust. I'm not able to properly manipulate it onto the lid. It's not getting properly set as like one canvas. It just has a bit of a dab, and then you try to blend it and it's not actually blending from there, and it creates the crust as if you are, I don't know, in the canyon, and there is a ground with like it was cracked, and you go by that such a road, you know what I mean? Like it has been so dry that you go by and these are big cracks of earth, and it looks weird. I'm not sure how to show it. I'm not sure if my camera picked it up, but that's what I see, and I don't like it. It's up close, it's just so weird. I'm not a fan of this texture. And as far as I understand, there are 3 main textures in this palette, for the shimmer shades at least. The mattes are totally fine. Don't have anything against mattes at all. They're blendable, they are totally fine. Colors are somewhat interesting, right? But we have this texture, this texture of a wet sand, which is weird. It's duochroming, you can see that it's duochroming, but it's a wet sand texture. And then we have this texture. This texture, I found 3 shades. They are more like flakes, so it's more like flakes, and you're not able to blend the flakes normally. These and this one are worse in these terms because you place it somewhere and then it just stays there. And you try to blend it with a brush or anything, it's not working. Maybe with the finger it will work, but yeah, it's more like flakes and it's just a bit weird to me. This one, Youth, I think it's called, is the least problematic out of them, but it's the same texture as these. Others are more like wet sand, more pigmented or less pigmented. Like some of them are more wet, some of them are less wet. It's not uniform. I don't know how to describe everything, but that's what I see, that's what I feel from here. It's not my favorite textures, however, I take it as a challenge and I will find a way to work with it. This is the goal for this review. The palette herself is pretty. It's very nice, it's truly summery. The bottom shades should have gone to the blue side because this shade that you can see is slightly greenish on my lower lid, this one that we took. This one is very close to this. So these 2 shades are together, so like 3, like Tetris. So these 3 are working together really nicely, and they have common hue, they have the common ground in general. I think they will be really nice. The pink, this one, and the orange are more accent shades that you apply somewhere within. So you can indeed do the makeup like this, like a top lid I have with these 3 shades, actually 4. Because of brown as well. So these 2 and these 2 are together. All others are together. So 2 main distinctive color stories after all. So I don't know why they're coming like this, like these 2 and these 2, and all others are blue. I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent. Maybe it's the summer heat. If it's the summer heat, I believe it. And then we have a water to cool it down. And then we have, yeah, more like ocean theme. Overall, it's fun color story, but the execution is a bit weird to me. But that's the first palette and first 2 looks that I have created. They are very nice and sparkly. The bottom lid was really sparkly. That silver is also really sparkly. Some others are a bit more smooth, like this shade and the previous shade. They are a bit more on the smooth side. But that's what I think right now. I have some troubles with texture. I cannot say that I have everything perfect. No. Unfortunately not. And I will find a way how to work with that. And I will try to tell you everything that I find. Also today I'm having the Cream Petal lipstick on me. It's a bit more muted in real life. This one is a bit more bright on camera for some reason, I'm not sure. This choker is very close in color, but this one is a bit darker. Application of this lipstick was not my favorite. It has a clay texture. I think it's not made for the European, so to say, application when you apply it by the edge and it's like very distinct edge for the lipstick. It's more over for Chinese application when you apply it in the center and blend it with a brush. That would be great. But the texture and applicator itself are not my favorite. I cannot say that this one is a bit more dense than Kaleidos lip clay, but it's very similar to lip clay. It's velvety, yes, it's matte. It applies weirdly with this applicator. With a brush it's a bit better. It does have a feeling of drying out, so it does give me a feeling of drying out. When I'm smocking my lips, then everything turns back to fine. It's velvety and all good, but I have some questions basically, to this. I have some questions and I'm not sure that I like this so far. The glosses are good. This matte's questionable to me. If you end up picking up some of them, please let me know also if you like this texture, if the application is normal to you, because I would be really happy to hear that everything is fine. Actually, maybe it's just my version, maybe it's just something for me, maybe it's my personal application and how I see things, so it doesn't have to match with your vision, it doesn't have to match with anything, to be honest. And this is these are my personal problems basically that I have right now, and what I'm telling right away. Then what else do I have on my face? The same foundation stuff, the same Sephora contour stick. I also used Gentle by Rare Beauty as the bronzer. This is not a contour for me, it's too warm, it's gonna be a bronzer, but I have to use it from time to time and that's what I'm doing. Then as my blush today I have Balm Beach powder blush. It's a bit more on the peachy side. I really liked it. It reminded me of this you see in the inner corner something. Then I used Kaleidos Space Age and I went a bit too much with it. I should have used more pink one, but Solar Sailor was the one I took. It also kind of matches the duochrome that you see, but not the best match. But it works, it still works. And in my waterline and as my liner, I have the Color Case by Mitchell. I have the shade Crimsicle, this one, in my waterline, and I have the shade Cooler, this one, dark brown, as my liner. I really enjoy working with these cream colors. But I think that will be pretty much it. I am done for today. I will remove the makeup. It's been 2 hours already since I applied it initially, and as I said, from afar it looks great. From afar everything can look great. If you look to yourself a bit closer, then you may have questions. Anyway, that was a summer Elva, and we will go to the autumn Elva next. I'm pretty excited what I can create with that. So I'll see you tomorrow in the new makeup. So it is time to go to the autumn Elva. And I'm showing you the palette because I have a bit of a confusion of how to approach it. I see the colors being lighter on one side and darker on the other side. At the same time, they are not exactly like coming together for me in my mind. But today I want to try to combine the purples with grays. You see one of the grays as more on lilac side, but it's actually gray. Yeah, it's not lilac, it's gray. And silver-ish story with them. And I think I will do the yellow, pink, purple and gray in one makeup look. Some of the colors will just go down to the bottom lid, some others will go up. It's a bit weird, I have to admit, but I don't really have anything in mind properly for this color combinations for this palette, except the greens. The greens are pretty obvious here, but for the others I decided to start with the non-obvious ones on the opposite side. So anyway, I'm going to start with the shade Windy. I don't have anything to darken it up. Unfortunately, the darkest shade here, called Revamp, is very dark teal, and teal will not darken the purple properly, so I am ditching that idea. Windy I'm applying just to the outer edge of the eye and trying to bring it slightly into the crease, but not too much. Next to it I will take the shade Susurrus. Susurrus, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, I don't know what it is actually, but I will Google it. And I'm just applying it to the first part of the eye. As you can see, it's quite gray in this scenario, and it's just gonna be the blending shade for the purple because it's totally fine in such a case. And then I am taking a bit more purple to come back and blend out the area. And next I want to apply pink to the first part of the eye from the inner corner till the center. So I think I will just combine pink to purple somewhere in the middle of the eye basically. So I'm blending one into another, and I'm packing this shade because I need it to be a bit more like a base basically. Then we are going to start with the bottom lid. Bottom lid is just yellow called Falling Leaves. It's very nice yellow color actually. And as far as it's the easiest, for the sparkly shades, I also will start with yellow. I'm taking the shade Autumn onto the silicone brush and applying it to the yellow. So yellow to yellow, this is pretty easy. This is simple. Then I'm gonna take the shade Cozy. Cozy is just little sparkles, and I'm gonna apply it to the gray areas, so it's not touching the main lid. It's just little sparkles all over the gray area under the brow, and this will be the idea. Then I'm going to take the shade Spice Tea. This is purple to purple, also pretty easy. In this case, I don't see anything that's duochroming or multichroming in these shades that I took. So I think the most interesting ones will stay in the other side of this. And then the shade Crisp. It's a flaky shade. I'm not sure about the texture on that, and it looks silver, but I am applying it to the first part of the eye. Yeah, that's the silver basically side. That's cool side on this palette, and I'm not exactly sure about the idea behind all of that. I think I will add a pink liner for the inner part, because it kind of does make sense to me to have a bit of graphic here. And I will do the black regular liner. So at least that's what I can think of now. And yeah, I think that's so far it. I will come back to you with the finished results. This is the final look I have created, and it's actually cute. From afar especially, I think it looks good, and it has a bit of a purplish silver vibe to it. I combined the color case purple, it's called Lay Low, lilac-y shade, because I wanted to kind of connect the top with the bottom, and then lilac on the bottom lid is kind of an accent color as well, because we have the whole yellow lid and then just a bit of a combining them together, so they are kind of not alien to each other. And overall, I'm pretty happy how it turned out. As I said, it's kind of looking cute, especially from afar. They are sparkling, yes. However, this shade that I tried, this one, is the same flaky texture. And this flaky texture, if you apply too little, it's going to be separate sparkles that are not that sparkling. If you apply too much, you will get a crust. Crust that is not going anywhere and actually goes to settle in your creases. So any lines on your eyelids that you have, it will go in there. It will start cracking in there. I did not find yet the proper amount of what you're supposed to take from such shades. As I see right now, it's the only one in this palette, and we have all the others. This one, for example, was more like sand, like a wet sand as I call it. It's okay. Like, this doesn't give me so much trouble with the crust and look as these flakes do. And this one, this shade, is a separate texture. It's something very sparse sparkles. Maybe I just did not get enough of it, but it's very sparse sparkles, little ones. They are just good for some outer work, as I added it under the brow bone. It's like slightly glittery, but it's not actually glitter. I guess that's the best description I can come up with. I like the shades. I like the color of it. I'm not sure what it has to do with autumn. I don't understand purple in autumn, and pink as well. The leaves, the fallen leaves in yellow, okay, that's understandable. The green and brown autumn shades also understandable to me. The rest, I am not sure. Not sure what to think. Not sure how to approach in some scenarios. So it is what it is, but I like the makeup. I think it's still looking cohesive, like it combines with each other and just looks good. I don't like the texture of flakes, that's for sure. Then I also tried couple glosses. I'm attaching the video application because that's much easier to show what exactly is happening with those glosses. So the burgundy, dusty burgundy, is actually quite a burgundy, so it's more on the red side, and in scope of not this makeup, it will look good. And then we have Latte Lily, also very interesting shade in my opinion. It's more of they are kind of, to me, close to each other, just different in darkness. So it was quite nice, but it did not fit this look. So I took a look at whatever I have left and let myself take Vintage Fuchsia, and Vintage Fuchsia looks like this. It's in the frame of the Endless Cacao pencil, which kind of cools it down a bit, and that's why I think it looks more or less okay. Otherwise it might be a bit brighter than I need, but it still fits in here. Still the feeling of drying out lips, but not too much. So this matte formula is a bit weird to me. It's like a Kaleidos lip clay, but more clay. I don't know how else to explain this. But when you blend it, if you apply it the Chinese way, with just center and then blend out, then it's good. Then it's probably gonna be better than what I have right now all over the lips. Yeah, very specific product in my opinion, but nice color. And in real life it's a bit more muted as well than you see it in the camera. And I think so far that is it for the Odens. And what do I have on my face as well? Bobbi Brown plus MAC, whatever is left in the Bobbi Brown, to be honest. Sephora contour stick, as usual. Kaleidos Dream Walk. I love this pink blush. On me it's a pink blush, even though it's kind of a lilac-y. And it makes a very cute face, in my opinion. I'll always add the blush onto the cheeks and slightly onto the center of the nose, because that's how you will blush or sunburn naturally, like this, in this pattern. And I like the effect of it. And then for some unknown reason, I cannot explain this decision, but I decided to take the Rose Gold Strobe Light from this palette. It's Evil Eye, and this is the highlighter I used. So this is Rose Gold. Probably I wanted to connect a bit of gold with a bit of rose that I have going on. I guess it worked out for this scenario. And for the lips, I already told you everything. We have one more look with this palette in the greens. It's an easy one. Compared to this, in terms of the combination of colors, it's an easy one because I can clearly see what is what and what I can use where, so I don't have to come up with some ideas. And that will be it for now. I will go do my things and come back to you later today, most likely. I hope so, at least. So stay with me for one more look with the Autumn Elf palette. So I'm back, it's around 11 in the evening and I'm starting another look. This one is much simpler than I was thinking about, and I think that will work great for this. On this note, let's talk shortly what I want to do. And I want to use the teal dark one with greens by the top, and I want to use the brown that is left here at the bottom, so that it's not kind of going, it's not going to interrupt each other. So I will start with the shade Revamp. It will be my darkest shade, and I'm also trying to bring it into the crease. Later we will adjust the crease part as much as possible, but for now I think it will be fine if I just use the big brush and just a little bit of things. Next I'm going to use the shade Evolve. It will be the middle shade, it will be nothing crazy really, and it's gonna be blending upwards. So far so good. Now I think I will use the shade Equinox, and it's a matte with glitter in it. You have to be careful about such shades, sometimes they're not very good, but in this scenario and in this case I think it's fine to use that. So this will be the very outer area where I'm using the Equinox, and I'm blending into my brow because I don't really have space. I don't have a big open lid, and that is why I have to work with what I have. Now by the area I'm just blending things around, just helps slightly. And this will be the idea of a makeup, as I said. Now to the bottom lid I'm gonna apply the shade Flannel. I'm not exactly sure if it's the right pronunciation, but it's the bottom lid shade. It kind of looking like a Pampers Surprise a bit, but it's okay. We can work with that. And obviously I forgot to tell that I cut out the crease with Gloss Gods and a little brush. As long as this can be used later in editing, I think it's fine. Once I'm more or less happy with the blending of the things around here, I think I will start with the shimmers. The easiest one is obviously Scenic. It has a somewhat orange-brown base and it has a lot of sparkles, so I'm placing it on top of the Flannel, the Pampers Surprise shade. as Glaminatrix Cosmetics was releasing the Tones of Turd palette. This shade can be one of those shades, yeah, in my opinion. Then onto the top lid, I will start with the Transcend. It's very much a wet sand, as I said, but it's less problematic than the flakes, so I will take it. The Transcend is duochrome, and it's duochrome from blue to green, and I'm placing it to the very third outer edge of the eye. Next, I will go into the shade Harvest. It's also sand type shade, and I'm placing it to the main lid in the center, just keeping the area more or less. And after the shade Harvest, I am using the shade Change, the only one that is left here in this hues. So this shade will be the inner corner, and I'm stretching it a bit onto the bottom lid as well. From here, I think I only need to do the liner. The liner will be separating the turquoise part from the brown part, from the Tones of Turd part. And I wanted to use also the neon green liner here. I think it will just add a bit. I want to place it to the inner corner and then drag it to the out here, just like the shape goes. And that will be it. I will come back to you with the finished result. So this is the makeup I got, and I'm actually loving it. I don't have that big of a negative feeling about the shades, and they seem to be okay. So this wet sand texture, I think I'm okay with it for now. It doesn't bring any big troubles really, so it doesn't really go crease into anything, and I am so far more or less okay with it. Plus the colors seem to be somewhat interesting, and this neon liner is actually a Handayan neon aqua liner. I don't have any other neon liners, to be honest, so that's why I'm using this. And green set here like it belongs here. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with the look in general. I do enjoy the shades. I have some questions to the teal. I have some questions to the palette in terms of the other shades that are happening here, because I see the purples and I see the greens and I see silver, a lot of silver actually. And I have questions of how this becomes autumn. Like, I can understand this part, this 6 shades. I can understand yellow, okay, for the leaves, but what are others? What are those for? What is the idea? I'm confused. Also, this one is not really any forest shade to me. This turquoise teal, dark teal in this case, is kind of more going towards the summer palette. For me personally, I think the teal and turquoise could have been mixed nicer, and that's so I still have questions, but I don't have negativity about the shades right now. So the only shade that I did not really like by texture is this one. It's the only flaky shade I think in this palette, and I'm not very happy with it because of the texture. Shades themselves, like the hues and stuff, are totally fine. I'm fine with that. I think both looks turned out really interesting, but completely different to each other. So they don't say that this is one palette to me. But I guess that's how it is now. I'm not sure, but okay. Then on the lips I have today a Cocoa Bloom. This one is not actually cocoa. For me, anything that is a cocoa, and it's warm with a red undertone, kind of chocolate, right? This lipstick is like an earth. Don't believe the sticker, it's not that. Because to me, this is a cool brown earth shade. It doesn't have the red undertone, it's just cool brown to me. I do like it, it's quite unique. I don't like the application or the applicator, but I like the shade. It gives such a dark, nice brown. And I applied also the Tawny Rose. Also don't believe the sticker here, because this is cool brown. They go together like they were made for each other. I still think that these glosses and lipsticks are kind of like a combo to each other. They complement each other. So I like these colors. This one is a bit more warm because it's a bit more sheer. So I wanted something more like this color on the bottom, which is like a hazelnut. That's also the reason why I chose the hazel eyes. So it's a greenish brown. And I guess it kind of did what I desired because I actually left this on. But yeah, there are questions to answer. But I like it. These two are good. These are interesting. If you really want something brown on the cool side, this lipstick is gonna give you that. I did not see anything like that before. Things that sometimes advertised as a cool are not actually cool. They're maximum neutral. These ones, however, seem to be good, and I do enjoy this look overall, and I think it goes together nicely. Yeah, what else do I have on my face? The same MAC and Bobbi Brown, the same Sephora contour stick. Today I used a bit of a Dim Infusion by Hourglass. As I said, it's my personal curse. I want to create something green with something peach, like combine them. And brown. Peach, brown and green. Orange sometimes. Yep. That's how my brain works. And my highlighter is MAC Double Gleam because it's so smooth and lightly golden, so it turned pretty nice. So from this palette, the most interesting shades are this on the bottom lid. It's called Scenic, and it's also duochroming, I believe. Not like crazy, but it's still, and it has an interesting base. This one duochromes into blue. You can clearly see it on my lids, and these two are, I think, the main ones, the most interesting ones in terms of the specifics, like special effects. Others are somewhat okay. I think this one, it was supposed to be maybe flakes, but it did not turn out to be flakes, and now it's more on the side of a, how did I call it? The wet sand. So this one is more on the wet sand as well. But it's pretty nice one. So I don't have any troubles with it right now. The only troubles I had with are this first one in the palette that is flakes, actually, because of, yeah, texture. I don't like that texture. It's personal preference as well, so you don't have to believe me that it's not that nice. Maybe for you it's nice. Maybe just for me it's not. We all perceive textures and everything differently. But I would say what I want to say and how it is for me, because it's just my opinion. So, I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. This one was a good makeup day, and it was a good day in general for me because I managed to do 2 looks in one day. That's rare. That's not happening always, so I am. And next one we will take the Winter Elva. Winter Elva. So the Winter Elf will be the next. It's more on the purples. So I will show you the palette. We will think about the color stories the same way as with this one. And I will do it all tomorrow, hopefully. So see you in a few seconds. So it's almost midnight and I'm starting the Winter Elva. And it's gonna be interesting, I have to say. I am preparing ideas, so to say. I think I can use quite a lot of colors in this makeup look that I'm going to do, and I'm not sure what will be left behind, so to say. But we will just start, I guess. And I'm starting with the shade Snowy into the inner corner. It's slightly purple. I'm filling up the inner corner and going to the crease with it. From there I will go into the shade Wood Stove. It's a very nice bluish purple, so we can connect it later with something more blue, which we will do exactly next. It's the shade Wool, and it has something blue in it, but not exactly. I don't know how to describe that, but in my opinion it does have something blue. So next I'm going to take the shade End of Year, and it's going to be my outer third of the eye, just blending it up and leaving it there. Now I will go down into the shade Solstice. That will help me connect the purple on the lower lid and everything else, basically. And I think I will go into yellow now. The yellow is called Frost. And I'm taking the flat brush. It's gonna be just the center of the lid, nothing crazy. And I am doing just yellow in the center and mixing it with the turquoise. I'm gonna get a bit of green. That's the idea, at least. I'm also adding it into the inner corner from the bottom side, just for the interest, nothing too specific. So that's the main idea. Next I will go into the shade Wintertime, I guess, on the bottom lid. It's the easiest and it has a lot of multicolored sparkles. It's going to be an interesting shade to look at in the macro. I feel like it's somewhat holographic, so I'm gonna use it there on the bottom lid. Then I will take the shade maybe Lazy. It's very similar to the Wintertime. It has a lot of holographic sparkles, and I'm placing it just on the outer edge of the turquoise, the teal color that I've created at the outer edge. And then I think we need something in between those colors to connect the yellow to the others, and I will take the shade Cashmere. Slightly bluish, but I think it will do for this purpose. I'm just applying it to both yellow and the other one called Lazy. Then I think we need to add a shade into the inner corner, and it's quite a flaky shade, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And I tried to blend with the shade Scarf, but it's too dark for my skin tone, so I'm ditching that idea at some point of the mattes, and I think I will use the Snowman instead. It's slightly purple and I think it has some sparkles in it, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm not sure if I forgot any shade, actually, but that's the idea. I will add black liner into here, and after that I will come back with the finished result. So this is the makeup I came up with, and I'm quite impressed by the color combinations, that they are actually working together nicely, that you can see some interesting shades. This color schema reminds me a lot on Gloss Gods that was released in the beginning of the year, somewhere, March maybe. And it also has the purplish pink, a bluish purple, this teal color, some yellow, some sparkles. I found a way how to work with the flakes. You have to apply them with finger. Unfortunately, nothing else works to me. I tried with a silicone brush, it's not picking up nicely. I tried the regular flat brush, it's not picking up things nicely. With finger, it's manageable. You can apply and just, scratch up a bit, and it just works. In the center here, I have yellow that is actually flaky shade, and it only worked normally with finger. At least I found a way. That's already great. We also have quite interesting shades in here. I used almost all shades from the palette except 3, I think. And we have the holographic duochrome, so it does duochrome from green to purple, and it has holographic sparkles in it. And we have the regular holographic shade, or more like colored sparkles shade. We have a lot more flakes in here. I think 3 by diagonal here are flaky shades, so they all work only with the finger, unfortunately. Not very much a precision, but still you can do something with that. That's already great. So the shades I did not touch is this fuchsia shade, this beige, and that, I don't know, it's somewhat golden, somewhat. But overall, I think I'm fine with that, and it is indeed winter palette. We had similar shades in Nomad, we had similar shades in the Dancing Light. I think you also can find other palettes. For example, the Artitude Cosmetics released the Arcana recently. It's also muted in such color theme palette. So there are plenty of them in the market in such color shades, in such color schema. I'm a bit confused. It's like somebody in China just, mixing the big bowl of things, and then all the indies come up with similar color stories. And yeah, that's all I can say for now. The holding power is good. Colored sparkles are fun as well. I'm starting to enjoy this experience, weirdly. And I wanted something berry because I have like a burgundy something shade on my lower lid, and I did not find any lipstick that is more burgundy than I wanted. We have dusty burgundy, but it's more red on me right now. And I placed it on top of the Nude Nectar. Nude Nectar is somewhat pink nude, which is really nice, pretty color, also muted. And then this makes it more, as you can see, a bit more red. I also found the red choker, and this is just, it is what it is. But the combinations seem to be okay, and they are working together as well. Okay, what else do I have on my face? Since I don't really have anything else to tell about the eyeshadow right now. As I said, I want something berry, burgundy. Berry is Dancing Queen by Danessa Myricks. I decided not to apply it on the lips because we need to test out the shades of lip products from Oden's. But this would have been perfect. Perfect to this bottom lid. And as my highlighter, I have the Shimmer Rose from the Rose Gold palette by Dior. It's nothing special, just nice. And that will be pretty much it. Also I have Obvi by Colourpop as my lip liner. That's it. Eyeliner is just black. Also I wanted to tell that I did not really like the teal shades in this case. I started applying them and maybe my eyelid was a bit more wet from the brow gel or something, but it did not apply really nicely in here, and I think it's just because of wetness of my eyelid. It's not because the shades are really bad in blending and stuff, no. I think it's because of my fault in this case. And I tried to blend them more nicely, but the more I touched them, the more problematic it became. And then I just decided to let it be. Because after all, they are not that bad looking. It's just that the edging is not the nicest that I can think of. But yeah, that's all I have for today. That's all I did. It's not the worst start. I still have 3 shades to look at in this palette and maybe some holographic to look at. I gotta see. I'm not sure what I can create, but I will try to create something. Maybe something more on the nude direction, maybe not. We will see tomorrow together. So stay with me and let's go to the next makeup. So, midnight again, because, well, it's very hard to actually film something during the day. It's pretty hot here in Germany right now, and I am melting, especially if there are lots of light and I have to close everything. It's just a lot of heat generation. Yeah, problematic. So, I'm starting something late, but still starting. Today I want to do something in the gold and burgundy tones, and I will start with the shade Solstice with the fluffy brush, applying it as a liner basically from the outer third. Not too much, but just a bit. And I think we will go into the full cut crease most likely. So let's try to do that. I will change the brush and it was more pointy, and let's do the crease with it. First crease is very easy to do, then it has to be blended. For that I think I will take the shade Scarf. It's beige, but it's quite a pigmented beige and it's darker than my skin tone. So let's see how this will go. I also have the red burgundy. It's more like a raspberry color in my opinion, but not that I am really good in distinguishing colors. So the shade Scarf I'm just blending into the shade Solstice so that I can have a base. Then maybe it's fine for now and I can cut the crease. For cutting the crease I'm using small brushes. For cleaning the lashes and Gloss Gods that base. This will help me to just clean up the area as much as I can. And I'm just starting with placing it onto the lash line, a bit above the lash line, and imprinting it to see where my crease actually is. That is the easiest way. You can do that with anything, with concealer. It will work in any scenario. Then you will see where you actually need to place your concealer. You can place it a bit higher or a bit lower, however you like, depending on your eye shape. Then once I'm more or less happy, I use with a brush. It can be flat brush, it can be a pencil brush, anything that distributes the product, cream product, all over the lid to make it a bit more even. And after that, as you can see, I left the outer third and like a wing basically in burgundy. Then we can start applying something. I want to start with the shade Icicles. It's nice gold. I want to try it out on the inner part of the eye first. Then I think I will switch either to Lazy or Wintertime. Actually, Lazy kind of looks interesting. I want to have a look on that, but it probably won't be the final shade here. So let's just see how it goes. But before that, I will place the shade Blanket onto the lower lid. It's very simple shade. It's like fuchsia, maybe slightly duochromic sparkles. but nothing interesting. The texture is more on the side of wet sand. Then going into the shade Lazy. It's very smooth shade. I'm not sure if that texture is specific to that shade. It's slightly holographic and best applied with the finger, but right now I don't really have that option because of the precision I need to do. And I'm just applying the shade Lazy from the gold. I'm trying to blend it into the gold and further out. But to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this combination right now, and this is probably, yeah, not gonna work as I was hoping it will, which means I'm going to remove the shade Lazy. As far as we took a look at it, and it does duochrome and it has a lot of sparkles, but this look requires something different. So I'm just taking a wet wipe and brushing them off with the wet wipe. Nothing crazy, nothing special. It's going out in layers because I applied it in layers. It's sometimes okay to remove the piece of your makeup or your whole makeup and just start again. There is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes things happen and this is just life. Once I'm happy with the removal, I'm gonna use that base again to clean up and to prepare for the new layer, because we don't have a base anymore. So I think I will start with the shade Icy. Icy is just a sparkling gold and it's flakes, a bit more flaky than I would like it to be, and I'm trying to distribute it somehow, and it's not the best, but it will do for now. And then I will take the shade Icicles, just like previous times, and I'm gonna apply it all over the lid into that area that we cut out. And this will be my main shade. I think it's also kind of flakes, but a bit different in texture than the Icy, because it applied better and just generally kind of works better to me. It still creates a crust on my eyelid, which I don't really enjoy, but not that I have options right now. And once I'm happy with that, I think all I need to do is to add a black liner into here to connect things together, and after that I will come back to you with the finished result. This is the look. I feel a bit Hollywoody in this makeup, even though I think that they actually don't use burgundy and raspberry colors, but the gold and black, definitely. So this palette has been quite an adventure. It has a lot more shades that are flakes. So this one is flakes, this one is flakes, this one is flakes, and this one is flakes. When we have 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3 sand and one very smooth. I'm not sure about this texture yet. I don't know what it best applied with. I think finger. I still think the finger. And the flakes are also, you can use the flat brush to initially apply it, but then you still need your finger to like place it. So it's blended with fingers. I have no explanation, but that's what worked for me. This palette has the most flakes that out of previous ones, so you have to be careful about that. I also still don't understand the color story for winter. If somebody can explain me the idea of the color story for winter, I would really appreciate that. However, the makeup itself, if we are not looking at winter palette, makeup itself is pretty good. And I still don't like the flake texture, but it's working. In here, in this makeup, from afar, it's working. From close, it's not very good looking because of the texture. And with time, right now it's been almost 2 hours since I applied it, but with time it will get into creases. Even with the base, it will get into creases. If you want to have a proper sparkle, you need to apply a bit more. You need to blend with the finger, and you have to take care. You have to be careful. But that's so far all I can really tell. Also, please pay attention to wet areas on your eyelid. That prevents eyeshadow from proper blending. In my case, here was something from the gel, from my eyebrow gel. It did not dry fully, and it left a bit of unpleasant stuff, so to say. And yeah, there are also sometimes the little brow hairs here and under the brow can make pigment from the eyeshadow stuck, and you can have some weird looking eyeshadow in there. So most of the times I just wax brows completely from this area, and I remove the tail because my natural brows grow down and they are a bit not nice. So I remove the end of the tail completely, leaving only like part of it after the arch. Anyway, I am happy we are done. I cannot say that I hate something completely. I don't like some things. I don't understand some other things. But you can make it work, that's for sure. You can definitely make things work for you. Also, I found out that the lipstick and gloss actually work in pairs. So you can buy like a pair of them, because the matte velvet lipstick is a bit more drying. It's nice velvet, but it's a bit more drying, and the application is not very nice. But if you apply the gloss on top, it will look and feel better. That's my personal feeling. So I would recommend to get pairs of them. I will leave in the description which pairs I found, so that you can have a look on the website, on the swatches, and see if it's a pair that you want to get, or maybe you want just one or another. Depends on what you like the most. So this pair is Nude Nectar and Citrus Camellia. They are more on the muted dark rose something. It's still looking pretty good. And yeah, I like these ones. There are 3 pairs actually that I like, and 2 pairs that I don't like. I will also mention it in the description to this video. And on this note, what else do I have on my face? Same foundation with the Bobbi Brown, same contour stick. And then I have Mood Exposure by Hourglass. Mood Exposure is... I got comments that it's changed. It was nicer color before, now it's like this, and a bit more orange on me. Then I wanted pair Gold to Gold off Rodeo Drive. As you can see, gold to gold just works. On my lips I also have 951 by Colourpop, so that I can make a nice contour and then fill it up with both products. And I think that turned out kind of cool, kind of good, acceptable. So that's so far it. We have 1 more palette to go, which means 2 more looks together, and after that I will maybe combine something out of them to see. And I will also show you some swatches of this palette and swatches of the lipsticks. And on this note, I gotta go sleep, and see you tomorrow in the next makeup look. So it's been one of the hottest days in Germany. It was plus 33 Celsius and I was dripping sweat, and that led me to procrastinating most of the day. But I filmed something interesting for Question Beauty, which is a New Zealand brand, came to me not long ago. I will show you in shorts all about that. In the meantime, we are starting our Oden's Eye Spring palette. I took quite some time. It is 1 AM actually, so it's just the creation time, I guess, for now. And I'm starting with the spring palette. Here I'm showing you the palette itself. I don't really have any ideas of how to approach this palette, unfortunately. I wish I had more ideas about how to work with that, but it's just, I don't know. I'm slightly confused, let's say. And I think I will do one makeup look more on the bright side. So they do have quite a neon-y colors, and at the same time they have something more soft in this palette. And I think I will start with the soft look, and the last look will be the bright one. I'm not sure how this will go, but we will see. And I hope that it will actually turn out okay. So let's begin. I'm thinking about the Daydream. I will try it in the corner of my eye. It will be something similar to Halo Eye, but not exactly. You will see in a moment. And I am just adding a bit of Daydream into the inner corner. It's not the darkest, that's why I am not going really to use it. So I will switch to the shade Blessed, which is dark brown. I'm using small brushes just to outline the things and to create this shape, basically. And with another brush, I am adding this kind of wing to the outer edge. It's not gonna be double-sided Halo Eye, it will be just one-sided gradient, but opposite to the normal one. So next shade I will use is exactly the Daydream, because I need to purple up brown a bit, and they can indeed cover each other. So that will be the next one. I'm not blending too much, it's just a little bit. Then I am confused about the hues. I feel like the shade Joyous and Flavor are on the same level to me. So they are not really, it's not like one darker than the other. They are kind of different hues, but the same level. However, I will start with more purple one, because we are going from the purple, which is Flavor. Flavor gonna be the first, and next, right after it, I will take the shade Joyous. I am repeating the same steps on the lower lid, so just that I can have it. And at first I'm just placing the shades, and later I can just go over them with the appropriate colors, the same colors on the brushes that I used, and just blend one into another. But you don't have to actually blend them very nicely, because we will cover everything up with sparkles anyway. Next I will go into the shade Awakening, and this goes into the brown slightly, so this will be the last shade in this situation. And the main frame kind of prepared now. Then I will also, so I found the nice shade, the light blue one, and I think I will also use this shade, because why not, after all. And light blue is called Rejuvenating. I am placing it next to the brown from the opposite side, so it's like a highlighting area basically, and that will be the contrast color in this scenario. Now when it's done, I think I'm ready to do the sparkles, and I will start with the shade Blooming. It's the most interesting in these terms. I think it's duochroming, but it's also the flaky shade, which I don't really like. It consists of few colors, so it's like puzzle. I'm not sure how to properly call this, because yeah, it's just different colors in one refill. And I'm placing it onto the outer edge. It will be the last color actually that I'm touching for the eye itself. And then we are going into, so I'm a bit confused between Tranquility and Fairy Garden, but I think we will go into the Fairy Garden first, right onto the brown, and Tranquility I will use by the bottom lid. So I'm just dragging it there. They're both slightly in the blue shift, and yeah, it can be confusing, to be honest. Then I think I will go into the shade Bright and connect the purple one to our flaky Blooming shade. And the last one to use is the blue Growing. And I'm placing Growing right under the brow, exactly onto the blue matte. So from here, I only added a bit of Daydream to the brown on the top, so that it doesn't look alien. I will add also the brown, most likely cool brown liner into here. And after that I will come back to you with the finished face. This is the look I came up with. It's a bit more on the cute side, more of a muted side that we have here in the palette. It contains quite a lot of shades actually. So I used all four of these, then two of these, and three of these. So almost all. We have only more pigmented, I hope, shades left. So they are more on the neon-y kind of side. The purple, the pink, this one is orange, this one is yellow, and this one is left. And we will be done. But this palette is still questionable to me. And it also feels like these shades belong also, like you can combine it with the other palette, like with Winter, and they will look organically together. So I feel like they are coming in couples, like everything here is coming in couples or something like that. The flaky shades are okay on the outer edge of the eye. In the inner corner it's a bit more tricky to work with them. Outer edge is much easier, but if you need them to be more sparkly, more in your eyes, you have to apply more and blend and agree that it will be a crust. at the end. But on the outer edge, it's a bit more manageable, I would say. It's yeah, less dramatic in the crust area, and just generally more okay. So, I don't have creasing right now or anything. It seems interesting, and the most interesting shade here is the one in the inner corner that is purple. It's called Fairy Garden. It has a lot of multi-chrome sparkles. We also have something that's duochroming, as you can see, into yellow. So it's some pink that goes into yellow. And the bottom lid shade is nothing truly special in my opinion. It doesn't show anything super crazy, just blue sparkles that I see. And yeah, my eyeliner today is brown actually. It's Inglot number 90, and I wanted to keep it more on the brown side so that I can justify usage of the brown in this whole thing. But I don't mind it. I think the look itself turned out quite nice. It's quite cute, and I don't mind it. Yeah. But I'm getting tired of the whole situation. This is 4th palette. One more look left, then I would probably do something else completely different. At least my soul requires that, I guess. And yeah, then I will tell you everything that I think. But first we need to finish the palette fully, touch every shade and deal with it. So, not bad, not the most great, but not the worst either. And then I also used the Tony Rose gloss, the Tony Rose gloss, and as a single unit, so to say. This glosses, the more pigmented they are, the darker they are, the more they set into the natural lip creases. So if you have texture on the lips and they are not like with a filler, they're not smooth completely, you will get this texture. It's not very even application. It's not the most, I don't know how to say, like Huda Beauty has a bit more to offer in their glosses because they're like filler really. And these are quite simple. I find the shades okay, but I also think that they are supposed to go in pairs with the velvet lipstick. So like there are 12 new shades, and I think each of them combines with each other. So you have the lipstick shade and you have a corresponding gloss to it. So you are kind of supposed to wear them together. In this case, this is Cocoa Bloom and Tony Rose, and they are browns and they look okay together. Separately, I like the lipstick more, but I don't like the application of the lipstick. So it's a tricky thing. I don't want to tell really bad things because there are no really bad things about it, but it's not like the most exciting things either, if you know what I mean. So that's it for now for the Oden's products. What else do I have on my face? I have the same foundation, Bobbi Brown and MAC, the same Sephora contour stick. I'm using it a lot. I finally opened my Bella Bottega Face and Cheek palette in Baked Blush. And I still don't know what to say about it, but it looks like this, and it's quite a nice shade of the blush. It's also right now cheap, especially for the USA, so if you're interested to grab something pigmented and in these colors, that might be it. $8.95 or something like that, not very expensive. And I used the shade Red Velvet here on me. I think it matches what I have on the eyes, so it kind of gets into the look without problems. I would like to try this more on myself and generally, and then I will be able to tell something about it. But right now, just okay. Like nothing special, nothing crazy, just a blush palette. I think I needed one, so I bought one. As my highlighter today, I have Fenty Rosé Rave. I also really like this highlighter when I'm wearing something pink, because it's pink. It's very pretty. And I think that will be it for this look and for today. It's 2:36 in the morning. I have to wake up in 8 hours or less. And I still need to remove all of that, prepare for sleep, you know. But it's my personal problems of what and how I'm dealing with things. Yeah, so far I am pleased, I would say. So, see you tomorrow with the neon-y look and the last look of this review. So once again, it is 11 actually, and I am starting with my filming production things. Lately I've been just doing it very late in the evening because, yeah, during the day it's hot. Also, the sun is not that nice. Closing the shades are not that nice. And I'm just kind of waiting for my inspiration to kick in when I really want to film rather than just being crazy about doing something during the day. So, anyway, today we're starting the last makeup look with Oden's eye palette, and I think it should be something interesting. So I'm thinking about the variation of the smoky eye. That should give us a bit of a interesting vibe. And we only have very bright shades left, and I'm going to use those bright shades today. Let's start with the shade Little Flower. It's actually purple with blue undertone. So I'm using the fluffy brush, relatively small, applying it from the outer third of the eye and slowly going up. Then I'm taking a smaller brush and still the same shade just to place it in my inner corner, so it's a bit more of a precise placement than what I have with the fluffy brush. That's a pencil. Pencil is for such applications as a brush. And I am taking back the fluffy brush, just starting to blend here and there. As you can see, even if though I placed a lot of pigment in one place with the pencil brush, you can still blend it out. You just need to apply a bit of pressure to your brush that is fluffy, and everything blends nicely. So nothing problematic in these mattes, really. I want to darken up a bit of all of that. And for that I will try first the shade Daydream, and it does nothing, which means I would have to go with the brown called Blessed. I'm applying the brown and to the darkening points, so it's not everywhere, but yeah, it's just going to be the darkening area. And on top of that I would still apply that Little Flower. However, when you mix the brown with the bluish purple, you alter the shade of the purple at the end, and it becomes more warm based than cool based. So we had a blue color as an undertone for this shade, and using the brown we are altering it. So I'm showing you two brushes to compare. One of them is a bit more blue in the undertone, the other one is a bit more warm, and yeah, that's because of the brown. So the orangey tone adds up to bluish purple and creates this whatever it is. So, just so you know how to approach it, because that sometimes is a surprise for some people, but I kind of expected that to happen because the shades of Oden's eye actually can be mixed with each other, and this is how they're supposed to work. Then I'm blending out slightly. I think I will use the shade Awakening just on the outer edge to see how it blends, and it also goes into my skin tone, a light pink basically. And this worked great. I'm pretty happy with everything so far. I don't need anything specifically in the center. I don't need to cut the crease or anything. It's a variation of the smoky eye, as I said. Now into the center we are going to place the neon pink called Fragrant, and it's actually quite a nice shade as well, and it blends into purple because pink and purple now are in the similar hues because it's not bluish anymore. You get the idea? Okay. And once I'm happy with the placement of neon pink, I will go into sparkling shades. So the star of the show today is Anabiosis. It's duochrome and very interesting shade in general. I will place it into the center of this whole abomination and just slightly drag outwards. It doesn't have to be anything specific, it just has to be applied. And it's duochroming, as you can see. Then into the inner corner I'm going to place the shade Newborn, and it's a bit less bright than I expected, I guess, so I will replace it later. In the meantime, I'm trying to think where to place the shade Springtime. Springtime is somewhat orange. It looks more of a beige something, but it's actually a bit more orange on me. It doesn't mean that on everybody it's gonna look like that, but it's very similar. It's like in the same area with the Anabiosis. So I'm placing it onto the bottom lid that I have like an orange inside and purple outsides kind of the eye. And I also think to add it slightly onto the outer edges where the anabiosis is, to the top lid. And at the end I am going to use the shade Blooming because it's much brighter, and I will use it in the inner corner. I think I need a pink waterline. I think that will look good here. And black top. That's the only thing I can think of, to be honest. And when I'm done with that, I will come back to you with a finished face. So this is the look I came up with, and this is quite interesting. First of all, it's very unusual to me. It's a variation of a smoky eye, but with a very bright color inside instead of black. So I'm not sure how to call it, but I kind of really enjoy it. It's not a typical cut crease. It's not anything. It's not a halo eye actually, because yeah, you're smoking it out and everything surrounding is kind of, yeah, so it's a mix of halo eye with a smoky eye, I think. Halo smoke, something like that, maybe. Smoky halo. Please give your suggestions of how to call this schema. I'm really curious. So what I can tell is that I had a lot of work with the blending brushes, because they are blending brushes, they're not packing brushes. If you need to pack the color, and you need a flat brush. This is the packing brush. Also, this is a packing brush, but this one is a pencil. So you need either a flat one or a pencil one. Then you're packing the color. Then if you need to blend out the edges, you need a blending brush. Anything that is fluffy will be a blending brush. It doesn't matter the size, it doesn't matter anything. But I worked a lot with this guy because that's actually my personal preference, to work with smokiness first. So I'm blending a lot instead of the packing and then blending. It's a kind of a habit that I developed. It's nothing that is actually worth repeating, but I mean, to me it works, and I'm pretty happy with how it worked. So the purple changed the color because we used brown. Brown is, in a nutshell, brown is orange family, and this is why it adds warmth to the look, and you get an absolutely different color from what we had initially. Just compare it. It's supposed to be this bluish purple, but because we added brown, it turned out to be more of a warm purple. Almost works like magic. But I'm actually pretty happy that you can mix things together and get some interesting results. I also think that the warmer purple works better with this orange, and I am not mad at all. However, I'm still confused about this palette in general because I don't understand the logic behind it. I still don't know the inspiration. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Why we have such bright 3 colors and all others are more muted and pastel-y. Pastel and spring, okay, yes, but why do we have these 3? What is the thought behind it? I don't understand that. And sometimes I really like to understand how the palettes are actually working. These shades, majority of them except one, are the wet sand texture, and they are pretty okay, I would say. If you apply them onto the glitter glue, they will be even more smooth, but I don't like to work with glitter glue. That's why we are dealing with this situation like so. Yeah, so the beige one, I don't understand at all. Like, what does it have to do? Except it goes with the brown together. So the brown and this one, they go together, and then it's kind of understandable, but still questionable. In palette it looks more of brownish something, but in real life and on my bottom lid it's quite orange. But a lot of things orange on me because I have cool undertone. This is totally understandable. However, this is what we have, and I think I also managed to put the orange lipstick to the good use. We have 2 lipsticks that are very orange in this launch. One is called Peach Peony, one is Apricot Whisper. Peach, apricot, orange makes sense. However, they are a chemical orange to me. They're not peach and apricot. They are chemical orange. But they actually go nice with the eye look today. So I am not mad at it, but still I think all lipsticks in those launch, lipstick and a gloss, have pairs. The same way as palettes actually have pairs. So they are 2 by 2, and the glosses are also 2 by 2. In total we have 6 pairs of glosses. This is one of them, and I will later show you everything of how I think they should be together, what I combine, what I recommend to combine, something like that. This is not my favorite colors. In real life, I would say this is a minus for me to have such bright orange, but if you're a fan of orange or you wear such bright looks, or maybe this just looks less bright on you, then it's totally good. I'm already, like, you know, accepting, in the acceptance phase for this review, for this whole situation. So there are indeed 4 palettes, but I did 8 makeup looks and they are all similar to each other. So the textures, the quality, it's consistent throughout palettes. They have different amount of things, of textures in them, but they're still quite similar to each other. And I think after 8 makeup looks, I can tell you something about these palettes, despite only doing 2 per palette. So that's what I'm going to do next in the next look, and tomorrow for me as well. And today, what else do I have on my face actually? I have the same foundation, MAC plus Bobbi Brown. I have the same Sephora contour stick, reusing all the time. For some reason I used Dancing Queen, even though I think it's better to use Jubilee because it's also a peach. But this one, I think I tried to match the eye purple, so I used this. You see where I'm going, right? And then I used as highlighter Rude Manga Collection Neko Chan's Paws. It's giving me a bit of a bluish purple. I think this ones I went for the contact lenses. Don't have any other explanation. And on the lips I have Endless Cacao, despite being cool brown. Browns generally work with oranges. So if you need to outline the orange lipstick, you can use the brown, especially warm brown. And that will look good. And that will not be a problem because they are the same hue family. Darker orange is brown. Now you know a bit more. I don't know why, but I'm pretty happy with the look. It's very interesting. It's not for everybody, and I kind of enjoy this schema of makeup as well. I think I've developed more of a schema for myself to what I will use and how I will approach things. So I think it's looking modern, and generally I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. On this note, I will have swatches of the palette, everything about them, approximate prices and formats, and what to combine together in the final thoughts, which we will do in a second, but tomorrow for me. This is basically my last look with them, with the palettes. I used 3 palettes to create this final look because I could only use 1 or 2 shades per palette. And this nude look is like super simple, but I still had to use 3 palettes to find the shades that I need for it. This speaks a lot about some of the things, and the thing that is most prominent on my eyes is actually Question Beauty Silver Mirror Pigment. It's like a bit more chunky, it's a bit more like a glitter, but that's what you see on the eyes that is sparkling. There is also a silver shade from a winter palette, I believe, or one of the palettes, because I already forgot. And I want to tell you something about them. Let's start with palettes. First of all, this is a typical Oden's Eye packaging, but they look kind of like gift cards. Not gift cards, but like congratulations cards, you know, this kind of things. They are a bit not individual, they're a bit faceless. We have summer, we have autumn, all the seasons, winter and spring. And all of them are made to be a collection. So they all come together. You can check them in pairs, but to be honest, sometimes you find one shade that you need in one palette and then the other shade that you need in the same kind of format in another palette, which means, and I think it means that they are supposed to be a whole collection that you can use. So this launch is for collectors of Oden's Eye, for somebody who really loves their formula. They did not change the formula from the last time, so last winter, basically 6 months ago, I was reviewing other Oden's Eye palettes and the formula stays the same. However, I want to point out that these products, in my personal opinion, are quite average. I would not say that they have outstanding mattes. I would not say that they have absolutely exceptional shimmers, something really exciting. These are average, like they are middle somewhere for me. But the price does not really reflect that. Well, in terms of indie, it probably does. One of their 16 shades palette is usually around $43, like something like that. I would assume these ones will be in that price range as well. The packaging didn't change. The weight, I think, didn't change. 22 grams per palette and 16 shades in each. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of makeup looks in one video. So I would not say that I liked some palette more than the other. They all provide a specific combination of colors, and you can extend that combination of colors by using another palette, because they all contain shades that are matching one way or another in there. So I found a beige in one palette, cool brown in another palette, gray in another palette, silver in the same palette as cool brown. I don't think regular person actually would open all of them and start searching for things. So to me, these are not 4 individual palettes. These are one big palette separated to 4 palettes. So it's a yearly Elva, that I would say, and if you are really into Oden's Eye, then you probably would need to get all of them to create like a very interesting amount of looks. However, you can indeed take only one of them if you like the color schema. If you really like something like pinks, for example, you can definitely use the spring palette. If you like purples, you can use winter palette. If you like blues and turquoise, obviously you have a summer palette. And if you like greens, the autumn palette. They are with corresponding colors, which I really enjoy, so you can see what you're getting basically. The colors on the packaging reflect what you get inside. I also like that it's holographic, so the packaging is quite nice, but as I said, it reminds me of those mass-produced cards, greeting cards that you get in the store, and they are, like, compared to others, they're probably better. Because I don't like faces on palettes, but a little elf is totally okay. And they truly remind me of Disney fairies. There are different fairies in here, each fairy is individual, and this is why I think they are somehow related to Disney fairies, because they also have winter fairies, and this one reminds me of the twin of Tinkerbell from Winter, actually. Or maybe it is a Tinkerbell. So it's like they are somewhere there, somewhere going there. But yes, I worked with all of them. The mattes are average, as I said. Some of them are less problematic, some are more problematic. The more pigmentation the shade has, like we have in our spring Elva, very pigmented pink and purple, so these 2 shades. They also stained my eyelids, you have to take it into consideration. And this is more problematic to work with shade than others. Others, if they're muted, if they're more pastel-y, they work better. And the more pigmented ones, the darkest shades that are colored, they're not brown like that one, not beige, not anything, that are colored pigment. They are very colorful and they're very problematic in these palettes. They are harder to work with. You have to put more work into each of them, and this is just something you have to think about. Also, we have like a couple textures for sparkles. One, as I said, is flakes and is best to be applied with the finger. One is more of a wet sand texture. They are not, you do not feel them on the eyes, but when you apply them and you try it with the finger, they remind me of those textures, and that's why I'm just relating them to that. It's workable. It's not without problems, but it's workable. If you are truly enjoying the formula of Oden's Eye, if you really want some palettes, if you're collecting them, then maybe it's something for you. In all other terms, I would say it's better than others, but worse than others too. So it's average to me. I would say they are just average. Nothing special. Nothing crazy. It's not a complete shit, but it's not a wow effect either. And I don't think that the price is justified for each of them, because it's almost, what, $200 that you have to pay for 4 palettes? That's a bit too much. because yeah, as I said, they are all somewhat intertwined, and you can find one of the shades in the other palette, and then you have to go through all of them, and it's just not it to me. I think each palette should be somewhat individual, and you should be able to do the full look with one palette. This is not the case, but also the case, kind of. That's why I'm saying that all average stuff. Yeah, if you are getting them on Black Friday, for example, and they will be like 50 for 2, then it's kind of okay. That's how I actually used to buy Oden's Eye, but at some point I fell out of love with the products because I had too much of them. Like, I had too many palettes. I bought a lot, to be honest, and I had an overdose of the products, and comparing them to some others that I have from indies, they do not win my heart. But as far as they came to me and said, we want to add you into PR list, I was like, yeah, okay, I don't mind that. I just didn't want to spend the full price of my own money on the product. And I would say this is something that you also should consider, not paying the full price, trying to find a discount, maybe getting one palette on the launch or waiting till Black Friday. That's what I think. That's how it is. Despite being in PR right now, I still think of them as quite an average product things. Yeah, so I told you about the texture, I told you about potential pricing and what I think about these palettes. Now let's move on into lip products. These are first lip products for me. I never had anything from Oden's Eye for the lips before, and this was an interesting experience as well. So we have the Elva 3 Fairy Wishes matte liquid lipsticks in green and shine lip gloss in pinky peach. So they all have the colors. You should not believe the sticker, the color printed basically, because that's not what you get. The packaging is all the same. All of the 6 matte lipsticks are in this packaging, and all of the glosses are in pinky peach packaging. Let me also show it to you. I cannot hold all of them at once. I tried it at the beginning, but right now I just can't. So this is the gloss bottle, this is the velvet lipstick bottle. They have absolutely same applicators. They have also little stickers on the bottom here, and you probably would like to store them upside down so you can see which shade it is actually, even though it's not really accurate with the sticker. I like the Kaleidos lip clay because at the bottom they have the opening and to see what color it is actually. And also on the bottom you have a sticker with a name. These guys only have sticker with the names, not transparent. So the glosses are okay to me. They are just glosses, a bit chemically smelling, but overall nothing too crazy. So the gloss is totally fine. This applicator is fluffy as usual, I would say. Then we have the velvet lipsticks. Also have to say that some of the shades are, like, if they're darker, more pigmented, then they will go into the creasing on your lips and they may not look too good, so you need to consider applying a very specific amount, not too much but not too little. And yeah, that's a bit of a game to play with this. With the lipsticks, velvet lipsticks here are a bit weird to me. They are like lip clays also from Kaleidos, but Kaleidos is kind of more soft. Maybe these ones to me are really clay-like, and the applicator is not good for this texture. They are fine, but you need to find a way how to apply them properly to yourself with this applicator. But then they are blending very nicely. So these lipsticks, I would say, are for the application of the Chinese technique, not the European or American technique. When, yeah, I think I mentioned it throughout the video as well, that if you are dabbing it and mixing to the edges, then it will look better than if you're trying to achieve very sharp edges. That's also my personal opinion on them, about the texture, about how best to apply them. So up to you to decide if you want that or not. Overall, they're not bad, but they're not really good. So they do not really set, they stay velvety, but at the same time they dry lips a bit. So it's very weird to me. Each of these tubes is 4.3 grams, which is a decent amount of product, but there are some specific things that you need to keep in mind when getting them. Also, I found out that best is getting them in pairs. They do kind of come in pairs, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that they actually come in pairs, but I find them to be like that. And then you have a velvet lipstick, and to not make it drying, you apply the gloss on top. And the gloss is a semi-transparent, so it does not really go against the lipstick, but it actually helps, in my opinion. So the pairs I found, I also will apply the swatches, the lip swatches of them on the screen. Cream Petal and Little Jasmine 3, Dusty Burgundy and Camellia Muse, Tawny Rose and Cocoa Bloom. This is my favorite pair of browns. The liquid lipstick is more like a earth brown, cool one. I haven't seen such a color before, so I really enjoy the color of it. The gloss, however, makes it a bit more warm, still kind of keeping it neutral, but this is definitely my favorite pair out of them, and I will use them because they also stand out in general. So, Tawny Rose and Cocoa Bloom. Citrus Camellia and Nude Nectar. I am wearing Citrus Camellia right now, as you can see, and the Nude Nectar is a good pair for it. There are some glosses that actually feel good to other shades as well, but these are the shades I would recommend to buy together if you are interested in both textures and want to buy like a pair of them. Then we have Peach Peony and Apricot Whisper, very orangey. If you're into orange lipstick, that is probably something that you will enjoy. And the last pair is Vintage Fuchsia and Latte Lily. This doesn't mean that you have to buy them in pairs, or you can get only one, you can get as many as you want. I think the pricing will be approximately the same, around $13–15, something in that direction, which is okay for the lipstick. And if you are ready to work a bit with the texture on the mattes, that will be also totally fine. So yeah, my opinion on them do not change, and on the brand as well. I think they are average. They are somewhere medium. They're nothing too crazy, but nothing too bad either. So if you really enjoy some of them, I would say go for it. It's not complete shit, which is great. And let's have a look on all of the looks I have created with these palettes. Start with summer, Elva, and then go to autumn, winter and spring. Each of the makeup looks I created also contain one of the lipsticks one way or another. Sometimes it's a pair of lipsticks, sometimes it's only one. But I tried to put everything into this review and to tell you everything that I think about it. I hope you enjoyed this big video. I don't know still the amount of footage I have, but it's a lot of things that I filmed. And on this note, thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it really helps. Give this video a like, leave a nice comment, or whatever comment you actually want. I hope it was good for you, as it was quite enjoyable for me. That's what I like to do in my free time. So, and that's it. See you next time then. Bye!